Hello, I'm Jared, and this is the Microsoft Learn course AI-3017, Microsoft AI for Business Leaders. Over the next few modules, we'll share new AI capabilities and best practices that are designed to benefit your organization. We'll discuss the foundations of AI and how to use it responsibly to both create business value and scale AI workflows across your organization. So, with that said, let's dive in. I want to begin with some foundational knowledge. Of course, the first place we want to start is, what is AI? Artificial intelligence is the ability of a computer program to mimic human-like behavior. For example, visual senses, speech recognition, decision-making, and natural language understanding, and so on. It's not a technology of itself, but rather a goal that's set by technologists to imitate human intelligence. As a subset of AI is where we find generative AI. Now, generative AI is the ability to create content, such as images, videos, or text. The goal is that this AI-generated content should be as useful as any created by a human. And that's a big goal. This approach is possible thanks to large language models, or LLMs, which are complex AI models that can be used for a broad range of use cases. Now, let's talk about how AI gets these smarts. We'll begin with, what is data science? Data science is an interdisciplinary field whose aim is to achieve AI. It uses many different techniques, mostly machine learning and statistics. In most cases, data scientists are the human experts that are in charge of solving AI problems. As a subset of that, let's talk about machine learning. Machine learning is a technique where a machine sifts through numerous amounts of data to find patterns. This technique is frequently used for AI purposes. Machine learning uses algorithms that train a machine to learn for patterns based on differentiating features about the data. The more training data, the more accurate the predictions. So, for example, things like email spam detection. Machine learning could look for patterns where email has words like free or guarantee, and the email domain is on a block list, or the link displayed in the text doesn't match the URL behind it, that sort of thing. Especially with things like credit card fraud detection. Machine learning could look for patterns, like the spending in a zip code the owner doesn't usually visit, buying an expensive item, or a sudden shopping spree. Now, even nesting deeper in that is where we get to deep learning. Deep learning, as a subset of machine learning, is imitating how our human brains process information as a connected artificial neural network. So unlike machine learning, deep learning can discover complex patterns and differentiating features about the data on its own. It normally works with unstructured data, things like images, text, and audio. That's why it requires enormous amounts of data for better analysis and massive computing power for speed. For instance, deep learning can be used to detect cancerous cells in medical images. It can scan every pixel in the image as input into neural nodes. The nodes analyze each pixel to find the features that look cancerous, and each layer of node pushes the findings of those potential cancerous cells to the next level of nodes to repeat the process and eventually aggregate all of the findings and then classify the image. So all of these different concepts underpin how artificial intelligence is created. Now I want to talk about our approach to AI at Microsoft. We are working to democratize AI use, and for this, we've designed a wide range of solutions and services to bring AI to everyone, irrespective of their level of AI expertise. There are 4 approaches ranged from the level of AI and coding expertise required. First is AI as a copilot for business users. We've embedded AI in everyday applications, so your business users can benefit from it, even if they don't know anything about coding or data science. In this approach, AI is delivered as a software as a service and becomes transparent. That is, it's fully integrated within the provided service without users having to worry about it. So for example, Microsoft 365 Copilot incorporates the latest generative AI in the shape of a virtual assistant that performs tasks for you in the Microsoft 365 apps. Then we have Power Platform. This covers several low-code products that helps you build different pieces of applications. These products have a layer of AI, But it's transparent as well, and you can benefit from it without having to handle it directly. Then we dive a bit deeper. Azure AI Services. These are solutions for users who want to deliver an AI project but have little data science expertise. They offer pre-made AI models for you to reuse and customize. And finally, Azure Machine Learning. All machine learning tasks can be handled from this platform. It helps data science teams in setting, automating, and enabling machine learning best practices. We are going to explore each of these in more detail across this module. Let's start first with copilots. Copilots represent a major shift in how we work. Rather than adding yet another tool to learn, we've embedded AI directly into the apps that we use every day, tools like Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, and Teams. This means that people can stay in their flow while getting intelligent assistance exactly when they need it. Across roles and industries, Copilot helps to boost productivity. This is done by handling the repetitive, time-consuming work, summarizing content, extracting insights, generating first drafts, so that the individual can focus on creativity, strategy, and impact. But it's not limited to personal productivity. Copilot is being infused into core business processes, helping sales teams prepare proposals faster, customer service teams resolve issues more effectively, and supply chain managers anticipating needs before they even arise. Now, when we think about technical roles, they benefit from this as well. IT professionals can automate complex workflows in Azure. Security teams can detect and mitigate threats more quickly, and developers can build and refine code with greater speed and accuracy. So altogether, Copilot is redefining what it means to be productive, bringing these AI smarts into the everyday work that users have to empower them and not replace them. Now, I would love to highlight an actual story that showcases Copilot's capabilities. RTI International is an independent nonprofit research institute dedicated to improving the human condition. RTI's work in social and laboratory sciences, engineering, and international development helps clients inform public policy and ground practice in evidence. RTI International implemented Microsoft 365 Copilot to enhance productivity and support staff creativity. By using Copilot, staff can quickly search for details across Teams, Outlook, and recorded meetings, minimizing the time spent toggling between applications. Copilot also helps staff catch up on missed communications and adjust the tone of emails and documents, which is particularly beneficial for neurodiverse individuals. Additionally, Copilot summarizes extensive research documents, provides vital digests for clients and the public. RTI's data governance policies ensure that Copilot only surfaces documents staff have permission to view, keeping organizational data secure. Amanda Greenway is the manager of collaboration technologies at RTI, and she had this quote to share. Ultimately, what we have to offer is our energy and our time. As much as we can route away from tasks like finding the perfect wording for emails and reading chats, the more we can focus on finding solutions for our clients. Even in our small pilot, we saw comfortable ROI. If we can take an hour of their time and remove the rote tasks that don't require their specific expertise, they can dedicate more of their time to projects for clients. You don't have to flip back and forth and copy and paste between SharePoint, OneNote, OneDrive, or other systems and documents. You have it all right there at your fingertips in Copilot. This helps people be more aware of what's going on in a project. It's sometimes challenging to find the right words. Copilot removes that barrier. It's a game changer for me. Copilot gives us more time to stay in a flow state while at work. Microsoft Power Platform is a low-code or no-code set of services that's designed to simplify the process of building solutions. It provides the building blocks that help teams work together faster. Even if Power Platform isn't centered on AI, its services are often powered by AI, and help you create smart AI solutions. There are two main ways in which Power Platform creates business value for organizations versus reducing development costs. It does this by providing the building blocks for teams to create these custom solutions in far less time than is required when starting by scratch. Teams can build custom apps in a matter of days or weeks. Enabling more agile and scalable development is another superpower of the Power Platform. The low-code philosophy is central to this. It allows for faster, more agile solution development. It empowers citizen developers, so that is employees with less coding expertise, to provide working solutions to end users. Professional developers can iterate on this version for further improvement. So this collaborative development approach implies solutions that are available to end users at an early stage and are less costly. This structure is easy to escalate by adding custom functionality. Let's take a look at a customer story that showcases this. Pacific Gas and Electric has enabled over 4,300 Power Platform makers and created over 300 Power Platform solutions that generate almost $75 million in savings annually. In a single example of how Power Platform adoption has benefited the company, IT help desk agents were often burdened with mundane and repetitive requests that led to increased wait times for workers and reduced overall productivity. Today, 25 to 40% of help desk demand is now fulfilled by an AI-powered chatbot built using Microsoft Copilot Studio. The increased efficiency resulting from the chatbot has saved the company more than $1.1 million annually and given help desk agents more time to focus on issues that required human intervention, which has improved the overall service level for their customers. Principal and product owner at PG&E, Thomas Bilbo, had this to share. We chose Power Platform because it not only provided us with a secure, scalable platform for automation, but enabled our business users to actually build their own solutions. Power Platform enables us to carefully control the data that feeds our AI models, and through Active Directory and Dataverse, also control who can access which data through those models. Power Platform conference attendees have been absolutely fascinated at how AI in Power Platform can be used to solve their business challenges, and how easy it can be to turn concepts into real solutions. Azure AI Services are the foundation for building powerful, customized AI solutions, giving organizations access to pre-built, enterprise-grade models that can be adapted to their specific needs. So rather than starting from scratch, Azure offers a collection of specialized AI services that address the most common and valuable capabilities. Let's take a look. So Azure AI Vision helps applications see and understand the world through computer vision, analyzing images, detecting objects, and recognizing patterns. Azure AI Language enables natural language understanding, so apps can analyze text, extract the meaning of the text, and interact with users in even more human-like ways. Then, Azure AI Speech brings voice capabilities from speech recognition to real-time speech synthesis so that communication is even more natural for everyone. Documents, we didn't forget about those. Azure AI Document Intelligence automates the extraction of information from forms, PDFs, and invoices, reducing the amount of time that's spent on manual data entry. Then we have Azure AI Search. This combines indexing and AI-powered retrieval to make it easy to surface the relevant content from wherever it is across your organization. Of course, the Azure OpenAI service brings the power of generative AI, including the latest GPT models, directly into the Azure ecosystem with the added security and compliance and scalability of the Azure cloud. And finally, Azure AI Foundry. This is a centralized environment for discovering, customizing, and deploying AI models. Both models from us at Microsoft and also leading partners. This can help accelerate your journey from idea to production, and you'll see a wide array of the latest available models for you to choose from inside of the Foundry. To illustrate this, here is a customer story. Volvo Group uses Azure AI Services to streamline invoice and credit note processing. Azure AI Document Intelligence provides the necessary AI capabilities to extract data from documents across an array of formats. Since launch, the company has saved 10,000 manual hours, about 850 plus manual hours per month. Maladi Kumaradatta is the RPA product owner for Volvo Group. They told us, "We recently had 2 scenarios in service and financing we needed to transform, and both had to do with processing critical internal and customer-facing paperwork, including invoices and credit notes. The data was complex and came in a variety of forms, including emails, digital and scanned PDFs, and written bills. Our automation team was tasked with coming up with a solution that could be more efficient and help the company better utilize the data it was collecting in these differing forms. We needed advanced capabilities, especially with AI document intelligence, to help us create a solution that extracts data from images, including photographs, stamps, and seals, and overridden text to gain more detailed information. A technology which could quickly produce accurate text in multiple languages. The time savings are significant, and of course, automation brings better quality. But for us, it's about employee experience and customer experience, how seamlessly these documents are processed. Across the board, they have more time to focus on innovation and tasks related to their specific skill sets." Azure Machine Learning is where organizations take their AI ambitions from concept to production. It's a comprehensive platform that supports the full machine learning lifecycle, from preparing and transforming data to training, testing, and deploying and monitoring the models in real-world applications. It starts with the data preparation, so it's ingesting and cleaning massive data sets to make them ready for predictive modeling. And from there, users can either write custom training code or take advantage of automated machine learning, which builds and tests models automatically to find the best performer. Then, once a model is trained, Azure Machine Learning makes it simple to package and deploy that model into a production environment. So this ensures that it can scale securely in the cloud and serve predictions in real time. And then that process doesn't stop at deployment. There is also tools to monitor the model performance, detect drift, and retrain when new data becomes available. So with built-in support for ML ops, teams can manage model versions, automate retraining, and continuously deploy improvements. And this can help ensure that AI systems stay accurate, relevant, and reliable over time. So in short, Azure Machine Learning gives organizations everything they need to manage AI development end-to-end efficiently and securely. Let's take a look at how Azure Machine Learning is being used by one of our customers. Northumbria Healthcare NHS Foundation Trust uses Azure Machine Learning to train custom machine learning models that predict the likelihood of complications during surgical procedures. The models are trained on huge volumes of data, including factors such as age, ethnicity, smoking history, body mass index, and blood platelet count. Using these models enables medical professionals to better assess risk and determine options for surgery or lifestyle change recommendations for individual patients. The responsible AI dashboard in Azure Machine Learning helps explain predictive factors and mitigate bias from demographic factors. Ultimately, the predictive modeling solution helps reduce risk and uncertainty and improve surgical outcomes. Professor Mike Reed, Clinical Director of Trauma and Orthopedics, has this to tell us. When a patient looks one of us in the eye and asks if the surgery will go all right, we often end up giving quite general answers because it can be very hard to predict. That led us to explore how technology can give us a better indication of how patients will fare, so we can have more meaningful conversations with them and better plan for their surgery. A few years ago, I asked some university students to explore how AI and machine learning might enhance our research. Within weeks, students produced some quite dramatic data that seemed much better than our existing risk assessment protocols. Microsoft gave us valuable data science advice that really transformed how fast we were able to work. Our team is small and mostly clinically focused. We're not professional data scientists. But with help from Microsoft, we've added strong data science skills to our toolkit. Credibility is a key issue, and I know that Microsoft hires the best people and keeps all of its cloud technologies very up to date. I think it's fair to say that Microsoft has more experience scaling software than anybody else. So that gave us reassurance that we would be able to expand our solution beyond our one hospital to the rest of the country and even the rest of the world. Leadership and Management Fellow Dr. Justin Green had this to share. In healthcare, AI can't just be a black box that takes inputs and performs unknown calculations on them and produces a result. If we are going to change a patient's care plan based on the results of an application, we need to know why it generated that result, and we need to be sure that the result isn't affected by demographic bias or other factors. With Azure Machine Learning and the Responsible AI Dashboard, we have the tools to understand, refine, and explain our outcomes so we can better serve our patients. After we added blood test results into our machine learning models, we discovered that platelet count was one of the most important predictive factors for the success of an operation. This was really surprising. And as we were able to distinguish between the level of influence with such granularity, something we hadn't been able to do before. People may think of AI and machine learning as depersonalizing technologies, but in reality, they can make the delivery of healthcare much more personal. They also help us as clinicians understand just how unique people are. And this guides us away from a one-size-fits-all risk model and towards something much more individualized. You now have a map of the toolbox. Copilots for immediate wins, Azure AI Services for pre-built intelligence, Azure Machine Learning when you need custom models and governed deployment. And next, we'll pivot from what the tools do to how they create business value, defining strategy, picking the right problems, and lining up the organization to deliver.